Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've got an interesting one for you today. Apparently, Bud Light decided that they didn't like their reputation. They didn't like the money that they were getting. And so they decided to essentially, metaphorically, shoot themselves in the foot by sponsoring Dylan Mulvaney and putting him on a can as a direct insult to their clients, their customers, and basically saying, F you, we support this hideous, delusional, evil cult. And we are going to double down and support them despite the fact that none of our customers want this. None of our customers are into this. Our customers are blue collar Americans that don't buy into this, coastal city elite, woke, ideological bullshit. They said, F you. Well, customers can play that game right back. And so we've got some pretty interesting topics. Kid Rock made a statement. Bars are not stocking this. And even Tim Pool comes out to give his opinion, telling people to buy other beer. Very, very interesting. First and foremost, if you haven't already, go to rumble.com, create an account, and follow. I only have 6 followers. Makes me very sad. This is an alternative platform that I would very much like to build up and make into something, because on this alternative site, we have the freedom to speak far more honestly than YouTube. And so my intention, my hope, is to create exclusive content for Rumble after we hit a certain threshold. And I think that will be Rumble exclusive, where I can speak more openly, more honestly, more brazenly, and not play by YouTube's rules. So if you haven't already, give me a follow. I would definitely appreciate it. So first of all, I want to play Kid Rock's. I want to play his words.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible.
Woo!
Fuck Bud Light and fuck Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really, truly awesome. So Tim Pool has some really interesting thoughts on this. Some very, very interesting opinions that I'm going to watch and we're going to go through. And I'm going to give my opinion every once in a while. But, without further ado, take it away, Tim.
Rock fire a fully automatic rifle at a bunch of Bud Light. Well, here's the story. Bud Light partnered with a trans influencer and defended its efforts to authentically connect with diverse groups of people after anti-trans backlash. From time to time, we produce unique commemorative cans for fans and for brand influencers like Dylan Mulvaney. How is Dylan Mulvaney, a histrionic, narcissistic sociopath, in any way representative of people who drink beer?
Let me pause you right there. He's not, Tim. He's not.
Funny thing is, Dylan Mulvaney even said they had no idea about what March Madness was or why Bud Light mattered. But sure, whatever. That's the story, I guess. I'm not super concerned in talking about Dylan Mulvaney, I suppose. It's ancillary. But Kid Rock recently made a video where he says Grandpa's feeling a little frisky. He then takes the rifle and just unloads on a bunch of Bud Light. You guys want to play this game? We can play this game. All right? Conservatives. Let me pull up this tweet here. This is from Florida Girl 0850 on Twitter. Florida Girl was retweeted by Dana Lash, and she said, "We just refused our Bud Light orders for my liquor store. We are pulling it from our shelves. We are not the only ones, according to our reps. They said it's bad." I'm not.
Let me stop things right there before Tim gets into it. I can attest to this. I have a family member who consumes what one might say is a lot of beer. Their beer of choice was Bud Light. They would get a lot of 30 can packs. A lot of them. I mean, like, for them, like a 30 can would last like a Saturday. So they would have a bunch of them. So yeah, it was, they paid a pretty penny. But since this came out, they said, no, I'm just not going to buy Bud Light. They started to buy naturals, Nat Light. I like Michelob Ultra myself. You know, some people may hate it, but I think it's pretty good. I like it. So, yeah. I mean, personally, I've seen it have a huge impact on business because he was probably spending $100 every couple days on Bud Light. Now let's go into another company.
Surprised. But is that all? Is that all you're willing to do? Anheuser-Busch owns Budweiser. So how about instead of Bud Light?
By the way, I am drinking a Michelob Ultra right now. I felt that it was fitting. The workday's over. I wanted a nice cold beer. I didn't think that anyone would mind.
You get rid of any and all Anheuser-Busch products. Take them out back, throw in a dumpster. Or, look, if you don't want to lose money for your business, I understand it's hard. Put them on bargain bin sale, say at cost, because once they're gone, they ain't never coming back. Me personally, I'd throw them in the trash and just get rid of them. But I'm glad to see that the rep said it's bad. Bud Light, you should absolutely get rid of, and I'm done playing games. I remember back in the day, I said, I don't care about boycotts. It's silly. Not anymore. Now I want to ramp it up tenfold. So, Florida girl and anybody else, here's what you do. Any Anheuser-Busch product out of your stores. You're a restaurant, you're a bar, get them out. And you don't even got to think twice. Because I know a bunch of bars and a bunch of places that don't even serve any of their products. Let me do a quick Google search on some of these beers. Here's one that people like. Let's do this. Who owns Blue Moon Brewing Company? Miller Coors. Well, there we go.
I don't know if Miller Coors is any better. I understand for this topic what he's saying. But something tells me that Miller Coors would also be a little woke. But point taken.
Blue Moon's great. Everybody likes the Blue Moon. I'm not a big drinker. I don't drink a lot of beer. I like Blue Moon. It's good. What do? You put an orange slice in it? Okay, so you're good there. What about, Guinness? Who cares about Anheuser-Busch? Guinness owns Guinness. There you go, everybody. It's time to start boycotting these products. I personally don't have a Netflix account. I personally don't have a Disney Plus account. I don't drink garbage piss water as it is. And I don't drink beer for the most part. So,
okay, Tim.
There's not much I can do when it comes to Budweiser or Bud Light.
That's not true. What you're doing right now is huge. 26,000 people. Yeah, no, that's big. You know what you can do, Tim? Let me give you some advice. What you can do, Tim, is you can do anti-ads. You know how the Daily Wire does those terrible ad reads that are just embarrassing and interrupt the flow of the show and kind of like diminish the credibility of, whatever they're talking about, or like the person talking about, like Ben Shapiro's like, and our republic is at risk and it's at stake. But if you buy Birch Gold, it's like, it's fucking embarrassing because it just makes those people look disingenuous. But Tim, what you could do is an anti-ad. You could, in the middle of Timcast, you could say, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a moment. This is an anti-ad. I would just like to remind you all to buy any other beer than Anheuser-Busch. Any other beer than Budweiser or Bud Light. There are some delicious beers that you could try. Michelob Ultra. You could try Coors. delicious, delicious beer other than Michelob Ultra, brought to you by Timcast IRL. And let's get back to the show. You could do anti-ads, Tim. That's what you could do. You could do anti-ads. Doesn't have to be a huge deal. Doesn't have to detract from your whole show. You can inject it every once in a while. You can be like, oh, that's a great point. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to remind you that you can choose any other beer you want other than Anheuser-Busch. Any other beer, cold, delicious, Michelob Ultra, only 2.6 carbs. A fresh, delicious, cold beer other than Anheuser-Busch. That's what you can do, Tim. I can't really do that because I don't have the audience that you do. But you could do that. You could do anti-ads. Anti-ads, just randomly. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You could be like, this portion of the show is brought to you by Timcast. Timcast and not purchasing Anheuser-Busch products. My point is, Tim, you could do segments where this portion of the show is sponsored by buying any other beer other than Anheuser-Busch. You could have a little button. This portion of the show is sponsored by not drinking Anheuser-Busch products. Tim, you gotta think outside the box here. You gotta have some fun with it. If you want, get in contact with me. We can have some fun ideas. But that's what I would recommend. Having a hilarious little bit where you say, all right, ladies and gentlemen, and that was a good point from Ian. I mean, I know that's crazy. Ian having a good point. I mean, let's not get crazy here. No, I'm just kidding. But you say, oh, that was a good point from Ian. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you that this portion of the show is brought to you by not drinking Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch supporting narcissistic, psychopathic, far-left cult members. If you want a beer, there are other delicious, cold, refreshing choices. And anyone else is better than Anheuser-Busch. Tim, please do it. Have a little thing in the corner here. You know, not for the whole show, but like when you have like the sponsored segment, like maybe for 10 minutes you'll have like, don't drink Anheuser-Busch, like right up here. Like, you know, like the sponsorship deals. Oh, that'd be so funny.
I do think it's funny though, because some lady tweeted, we're never going to drink Bud Light again. From here on out, it's Budweiser and Coors. And it's like, Bud Light is Budweiser. Okay, come on. It's like the same thing. Just one is garbage and the other is just kind of garbage. So, sure. You know what? I got to be honest, though, as an aside. I've never quite understood why people drank Miller or Budweiser, because I've always viewed them as just like garbage beer.
Tim, I can actually answer this. My family member who drinks a lot of beer. The thing is, they drink beer. Well, I mean, it's hard to really explain. They don't want to get absolutely piss wasted, which is why they drink the light beer, because they can have a lot more of it and function throughout the day. They like drinking the beer, but they don't want to get absolutely fucking shit canned, because there's stuff to do even on a Saturday or a Sunday, after church, you don't really want to get just absolutely soaked, because Monday is coming along. You may want to take it easy. So, Bud Light, at least, for my family member, was an alternative that it gave them the enjoyment of drinking beer, give them a good buzz, but it didn't get them fucking smashed, which is probably why they went through like 30 or 40 cans. But that's my point, that it gives them this, this feeling of drinking beer, which, they like drinking beer, but they don't want to get pissed, So that's why. It's not because it's the best beer. cheap. You know, you can drink a lot of it, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
That's just me. You know, I've never been a big drinker, but when I go out, you think about like a Guinness. It's a very unique thing. What is a Guinness? Like a stout? It's like thick. It's almost creamy in essence. And you take a look at some other beers. I mean, Old English, a dark. Take a look, a Heineken. You know, nice import. I look at those and I'm like, these are good. Miller and Coors, Miller and Budweiser, I'm sorry, have always been garbage. Like, here's the thing. You go to a party, you want to get...
I'll have to admit something. I used to like Corona. I used to like Corona beer. I don't like Corona beer anymore. I just thought I'd throw that in.
Get drunk. They have like Natty Light, or they've got like Bud Light, or you know what's the other one? There's just a whole bunch of these generic garbage bargain bin beers that taste like water, but they get you drunk. And then I would see people at bars with like a Budweiser or a Miller, and I'm like, why are you drinking that? PBR is big in Chicago. So Kid Rock's mad about this. Here's what I think. I think they don't care. Here's the quote from Dylan Mulvaney. I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but turns out it has something to do with sports. She jokes in the video. I'm not exactly sure which sport, but either way, it's cause to celebrate. I love it. Not only did they try to do a March Madness commercial, but they intentionally insult the fans of March Madness. I think it's hilarious. I just love it. So are they really trying to make money by doing this? Here's what I think. The reason they do this here, let me show you a response to Florida Girl. This guy, Vote for Pedro, says, I have two friends that are bar lounge owners that have done the same. People saying, just not Bud Light one at all. One person says, great question, which I believe should extend in full to the entire product lineup. Anheuser-Busch is a corporation that took an astonishing decision and hope they realize it sooner rather than later.
Doubtful. Doubtful. I doubt they'll admit that they fucked up. They'll probably just move on. You know, unfortunately, that will likely be the reality. But, yeah, like I said, I encourage people to pick a different beer. You know? I pick Michelob Ultra because I like it. But, yeah, this was an interesting story. You know? My position is that anyone who adopts or embraces trans ideology, I'm not with you. I'm not about that. I think it is evil. Not the people, but the push, the pressure to force people into that line of just self-deletion. And let me just say this. To any trans person who might hear this, suicide is fucking pathetic. It's the most selfish, pathetic thing a person can do. No matter what you feel like, no matter how down you think things are, killing yourself is truly one of the most evil things. Because as empty as you think your life is, you could use your time and your presence and your money to help out other people on this planet in need. You could choose to do that. You could say, you know what? I'm going to dedicate, I was going to end my life, but instead I'm going to make a drastic change. I don't care about, myself and my ideology. I'm going to go and I'm going to help people. God damn it, I'm going to help anyone I can. I'll feed the homeless. I'll do whatever it takes. I'm going to help people. As many people as I can. Thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of people. I'm going to help them. And you know what I think will happen? When you help that many people, I think it changes you. I think that it rekindles the spark of life inside of yourself. And I think once you get past the narcissism of the trans movement and the toxicity and the peer pressure and the bullying, and you get past the lies that they tell you that, oh, you can be any gender. We're going to bully and harass and dox anyone until they agree with us that you can be any gender. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen because it's not real. The best thing that you can do is to go out and help other people. Make their lives better. You know, there are people that are suffering right now. You kill yourself, that's it. The game's over, the ride's over, you don't help anyone. But if you decide to dedicate your life to something positive, to something good, I think that no matter who you are, no matter what you can provide, if you can do that, you can look at yourself in the mirror and you can say that you're a good person. But for me, there's a reason why the Bible says that suicide is a great sin and you go to hell. Because it's the most selfish thing a person can do, and the suicide rate in the trans community is astronomically high. I don't view that as a tragedy. I view that as anger. My anger for the trans community. Because 41% of those people are fucking selfish. They could have dedicated their lives to helping others, to making the world a better place. No matter how dark things got, no matter how abusive things may have gotten, they could have dedicated their lives to helping people that are suffering right now. And people could use it. Oh my God, could they use it? Maybe it's not even cooking them something. Maybe it's just a kind word. Maybe it's that relatability that you're in a dark place and somebody else is in a dark place, and you can put them on your shoulder so that they can see the light. And you're not willing to do that. You're going to kill yourself like a fucking pussy, like a coward. Makes me absolutely sick. Makes me absolutely sick. The trans community is the most narcissistic group of people in the world. To kill yourself in those numbers, 40%. Unbelievable. Instead of helping other people, you say, well, I can't get what I want. I can't be a woman, so I'm going to leave. Bye. Bang. Fucking ridiculous. Help other people in any way you can. Make somebody else's life just a little bit better. Be a beacon for other people. Instead of just being a goddamn statistic. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end things, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the reasons why I will always hate the trans community. Not because I give a shit what people do with their body. I don't care how ridiculous the narcissism is that these people believe that they can just, oh, I'm a woman, pal. I don't give a shit. There are narcissistic people all over the world. There are people who are delusional all over the world. The reason why I specifically hate this group of people is because they do nothing but bring negativity and anger to people, and they don't do anything to try to help. They just blame everyone else, for their problems. Don't do anything to help the world. Don't do anything to help anyone. Talk about, I'm going to be genocided. No, the only people that are genociding the trans are themselves. And I, for one, wish it would goddamn stop. Someone needs to be honest and say, no, you're not a woman. No, you're not a man. Just because you think you are. That's, sucks for you. Think you're born in the wrong body, too fucking bad. Go out there, do something that makes a difference and helps somebody other than yourself. You goddamn narcissist. Anyway, that'll do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you next time.